Nobody wins when the family feels.
That a total of 22 people were shot here last night. Among them, 4 died, 3 men and a woman, and then 18 others were also shot. Their injuries ranged from non-life-threatening to life-threatening.
Multiple gunmen believed to be on the run after a mass shooting on the south side. Here's how it looked moments after those shots were fired in 5 Points South around 11 o'clock last night. You can see dozens of police and emergency crews responding to the scene.
Rest assured, we are going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that we uncover, identify, and hunt down who was ever responsible for preying on our people this morning.
Fam, I don't know if life's supposed to be like this or not, but what I can say is this. But if you ask me in 2024, it's going out cool, I tell you straight up, it's played out. Fam, we gotta realize, when we going out, this stranger we don't know what he did before he came out or she came out. So understand at any given moment, you could be a casualty of they war. Plus, we already know, once a body drop, ain't no looking back. And in certain people's eyes, it's who next. Fam, in this video, we highlight this the second mass shooting in Alabama in 2 months. Less than 24 hours ago of me making this video, 18 people were shot. 4 people lost their life. 3 men, 1 woman. Fam, we talking about 4 lives gone in 4 seconds. Authorities investigating if a switch was involved. We got a small clip, and the span of that clip changed 4 lives. Over 20 lives forever, including the ones that love them and that's their families. Now, this happened at a popular hookah lounge. We'll later go over. Plus, we're gonna identify all 4 victims. It seemed 3, all of the men, were some top dogs in their section and very known individuals. We also gonna check out some posts from Facebook and see what some people had to say that was there on the scene and also shot, but managed to recover, thank God. But like we mentioned, that wasn't the case for 4 people. So while we thread light on this fresh situation, I wanna try my best to gather as much public facts as possible while understanding so many lives was affected. We want to give love and prayers and condolences to those who are affected. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Now, prior to this incident that we're about to discuss, there have been 118 homicides in Birmingham this year. The total now stands to 122. Of those, 8 have been ruled justifiable and 2 involve people injured in previous years who died in 2024. In all of Jefferson County, there have been 154 homicides, including 122 in Birmingham. Alabama lawmakers have been considering banning switches like the one have been used in this shooting, making a Glock switch on a pistol subject to a Class C felony, punishable by up to 10 years in state prison. But at this point, fam, everything counts. There have been at least 2 other quadruple homicides in Birmingham this year. On July 13th, a drive-by shooting at an adult birthday party left 4 people dead. Of course, we did the video. I'll leave the link in the bio. 9 others was injured. Not to mention, on February 16th, 2024, 4 men was killed in a drive-by shooting in Smithfield neighborhood. No arrests have been made in the mass shooting in July. So at this point, people thinking they can get away with this stuff. But fam, I want to put something in perspective before we run down on this video. Birmingham's homicide total in 2023 dropped just more than 6%. It was the first time in 5 years the number of killings in the city had dropped after years of steady increases. The city ended in 2023 with 135 homicides, and in 2022 with 144 homicides, making it the deadliest year in recent Birmingham's history. Birmingham's all-time record for homicides was in 1933 with 148 slayings. Now on the first week of September in 2024, they stand at 122. With 3 months left, just 11 away from the record. Fam, take a look at Hush Lounge, located on the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue in Birmingham, Alabama. If you look at their social media, on Instagram, Hush Lounge 205, you can see pictures of public figures like Desi Banks, Trey Songz, even Drewski. This a known lounge in the area of Birmingham, Alabama, to say the least. Not saying they at fault for anything that took place today, but it is a massive manhunt going on by the ATF and the FBI for what they believe was a paid hit, a murder for hire. A shooting took place at 11 p.m. As we mentioned, outside Hush Lounge on the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue South, police were expected to provide an update the following morning. Now, before I waited the following morning to get their update, fam, I did my research myself all night. And while on social media, I was able to identify the victims and where they're from. But first, I want to read a Facebook post from somebody who was shot. I blurred their name out, but it quote, "I was at Hush waiting in line when all of a sudden, over 100 shots went off. I started running. Then out of nowhere, I can't feel my leg and I fall. When I got up, I looked back just to see bodies laid out and smoke everywhere. I managed to make my way over to a diner and they flagged the cop down. But my friend Jamarlin saved my life. He came back for me. He was hit himself, but he went to grab his car and immediately took me to UAB. I had a bullet enter my left butt cheek, came out my thigh, millimeters from my main artery. UAB's trauma team did amazing work. They got everyone checked and looked at and saved many, many lives last night. But please keep those who didn't make it and their families in your prayers, guys. It was an image I'll never forget. Send 11 prayers his way. Now it turns out, as we mentioned, it was 3 males and 1 female. Now one of the posts had tagged all 3 males. That's how I knew they was from the same area. Now I'm gonna blur this man's Facebook page out, but I want you guys to know, as I mentioned in the beginning, fam, it only take one person who wanna retaliate once a body drop. As we all know, there's no looking back. This man quoted, "This was soap. Folks waited till our backs was turned to make they move. Watch this though. PGE Rod, one of the victims, may he rest in peace. Carlos Gray, one of the victims, may he rest in peace. Tahaj Booker, one of the victims, may he rest in peace. On Trigger, I'ma do something about you." Now these people was from Ensley, Alabama. Now Carlos Gray made himself a laughing stock on social media because the day he lost his life, he wrote the following: "Bounce out on you. You know it's over. I don't even know why you running." His quote-unquote oppositions have replied to that post when they found out he lost his life. One quoting, "Fool must bounced out and hit him damn self" with the clown emoji. One person say they allegedly got out of the Sprinter van and let off switches before driving away. The victims that lost their life was from the narrow side. A young man who lost his life that we covered as well. May he rest in peace. Fam, this Riri, she was one of the victims, the only female who lost her life at this mass shoot. May she rest in peace. I love condolences to her family. The person to the left of the screen is her baby father. He lost his life to gun violence found slumped in the car 2 years prior. May he rest in peace. I love condolences to his family. 4 lives in 4 seconds.
Point South District. That call was updated that multiple people were shot. Our officers arrived on the scene when they observed 2 adult males and 1 adult female who was unresponsive on the sidewalk, suffering from a gunshot wound. We also began locating multiple additional gunshot victims in and around the area. Also, multiple victims began arriving at various hospitals throughout our city. Birmingham Fire and Rescue personnel arrived on the scene in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue. Our medics pronounced the 2 adult males and the 1 adult female deceased on the scene. I just gathered information from our team that a 4th victim has now been pronounced deceased at UAB Hospital. So we have a total of 4 deceased victims as of now. From speaking with our officers and speaking with our detectives, we have dozens of gunshot victims from this area. I'm told at least 4 of those gunshot victims are life-threatening. The other have various injuries. Here's what we know so far in this investigation. We believe that multiple shooters fired multiple shots on a group of people in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue. There's no one in custody, and we cannot stress to the public how important it is for us to have information in this investigation. We have reached out to our partners with the ATF. We have reached out to our partners with the FBI. You will have a plethora of law enforcement agencies assisting the Birmingham Police Department. And rest assured, we are going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that we uncover, identify, and hunt down who was ever responsible for preying on our people this morning. So if you have any information, please reach out to Crime Stoppers. That's your best avenue. You can remain anonymous and you can receive up to $5,000 in cash for your tips.
So Birmingham Fire and Rescue said they transported 8 from the scene. Okay, so we have 3 dead on the scene.
Yes, ma'am.
8 transported from the scene, one of which we believe died at UAB Hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
How many others do you think showed up injured?
Right now, we have dozens of gunshot victims who are at various hospitals. In these types of situations, when you lock into a number, that number typically changes. So we can for a fact say that we have dozens of gunshot victims from this area.
So more than 24.
Unknown on that number, but we have dozens of victims. We're not going to lock into a number right now, but when we finalize everything, we will provide that number to our media partners.
Were these group of people outside of a business here? Where specifically were they?
We were told that all of the victims were out in the open on either a sidewalk or the street. So these group of shooters fired upon these victims when they were out in the open. We were not told that this happened inside of any business. This was on either a sidewalk or a city street.
Was this a drive-by shooting or were the shooters on foot as well?
Our detectives are working to confirm whether the shooters walked up on the victims or drove by in a vehicle. And that's why we need the public's help. There's no information that's too small in an investigation like this.
Do you have a number of shots fired?
We're just going to say multiple shots fired.
Do you know why that group was there? Was there a party or an event down this road?
It's just a beautiful night on a Saturday. This is one of the most popular entertainment districts in Birmingham, so you can always expect a crowd. Right now, we are focused on getting these shooters off the street.
This is a very unfortunate situation. We send 11 prayers to everyone affected and who was involved. Fam, we got an interview coming up that we spoke on this as well. I didn't want to put 2 and 2 together, but I'm gonna drop it tonight with Landlord Low. So if you're familiar with this situation in Alabama, I'm sure you can't wait to hear this interview. As more develop, I'll keep you guys updated. Fam, this was the second mass shooting in 2 months in Alabama. I'm sending prayers down there. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.